they ink dries on the new CBA by early February. So let's say they have a deal done by the 1st of February. We still got an additional 30 plus days to do free agency, right? Now, this article is coming out right here, man. And it stated WNBA could be weeks away from delaying the season. So we know them schedules came out, dog. Them schedules.
Significant news has surfaced regarding the WNBA's off-season calendar, creating ripples throughout the basketball community. Amy Costabile from Front Office Sports has unveiled critical information about the anticipated commencement of free agency, addressing what has become the dominant narrative surrounding the upcoming campaign. Player destinations have dominated off-season chatter, yet those conversations remain purely speculative without a completed collective bargaining agreement in place. Costabile's recent publication delivers eye-opening revelations about the league's current predicament and projected timeline. League insiders speaking with Front Office Sports have indicated that the most favorable outcome would see free agency launching sometime in early March. This optimistic scenario hinges entirely on completing CBA negotiations by early February.
Schedules came out, dog. Them schedules came out yesterday. Everybody got their schedules. Now, my personal opinion, I still don't believe it's going to be a lockout. I just cold-heartedly do not believe that. I believe that they're deal done, but I could be wrong. See, I'm afraid to admit, hey, y'all, I could be wrong. Now, with that being said, the article goes on to say that the WNBA wants everyone to believe the 2026 season will tip off on May the 8th. Now, May the 8th.
Assuming a finalized agreement emerges by the first day of February, organizations would still face more than 30 additional days before roster construction could officially begin. Costabile's reporting also suggests potential delays to the regular season's launch could materialize within weeks. The league recently distributed game schedules to all franchises, providing each organization with their complete matchup listings. Despite this official schedule release, skepticism exists about whether a work stoppage will materialize. Some observers maintain confidence that negotiations will ultimately succeed, though conceding uncertainty remains appropriate. League officials continue projecting May 8th as the campaign's opening date.
Believe the 2026 season will tip off on May the 8th. Now, May the 8th is when the date's supposed to start. Now, I'm going to tell you, if free agency started in March, the season is not going to start May 8th. So that right there tells me ain't no ifs, ands, ain't no buts. The season ain't going to start in May. Because we still got to do free agency. Then we also got to remember there's a thing called training camp. Every team.
That specific target represents the WNBA's publicly stated intention for beginning competitive play. However, mathematical realities challenge this projection's feasibility. Should free agency not commence until March, expecting teams to be competition ready by early May stretches credibility beyond reasonable limits. Multiple factors complicate this compressed timeline. Free agency alone demands considerable duration for negotiations, contract discussions, and player signings to reach completion. Beyond that, training camps serve as indispensable preparatory phases where organizations condition athletes, implement strategic systems on both ends of the floor, and execute all necessary groundwork before actual games commence.
Then we also got to remember there's a thing called training camp. Every team got to have training camp, bro, to prepare for the season. That's weight room, that's running the offense, defense that you're going to run. That's pretty much all the essential things you need to get ready for the 2026 season. Now, as of Friday, right, the Players Union was still waiting on a response from the league to propose to the proposal that they sent over a month ago. Now, multiple sources told Fernando.
By late last week, the Players Association continued awaiting the league's counter-response to a comprehensive proposal submitted more than 30 days prior. Various sources have verified the association's pursuit of a 30% portion of total league revenue combined with a salary cap position near $10 million. These particular details have surfaced repeatedly throughout recent coverage, with media outlets frequently presenting virtually identical reporting every several days. Proposed Supermax contracts would reach $249,000 under these terms, while entry-level salaries would begin at $66,000. These numbers have circulated widely across multiple reports already. Examining specific franchise schedules reveals the Las Vegas Aces are presently penciled in to host their inaugural contest versus the Phoenix Mercury on May 8th, followed by a 4-game stretch away from home.
To the proposal that they sent over a month ago. Now, multiple sources told Front Office Sport that the proposal the union is seeking a 30% share of the league gross revenue and a salary cap around $10 million, man. Everybody keep reporting. We already know this part, bro. Like, all they doing is copying and pasting the same articles, bro, every couple of days, man. Now, the Supermax will go up to $249. The minimum was $66,000. That's all. It's all the same stuff. Now, it goes on to say, somebody better start talking right now before.
Earlier coverage emphasized how Indiana's calendar appeared especially grueling, but closer inspection shows numerous organizations confronting similarly demanding sequences. While Caitlin Clark and the Fever face more consecutive contests than any other squad, additional high-profile franchises including the Aces and Liberty also navigate extensive away stretches, presumably due to their elevated popularity and drawing power. The Los Angeles Sparks hold the distinction of playing the season's initial back-to-back games during opening weekend on May 10th. The initial CBA negotiation deadline expired on January 9th without resolution, representing the second postponement beyond the original bargaining window. Currently, no accord exists for a third extension period. The Players Association has suggested removing certain contract limitations, though the league hasn't demonstrated receptiveness toward these recommendations.
Goes on to say, somebody better start talking right now before I start screaming. Wilson, Las Vegas Aces are currently scheduled to start the 2026 season at home with the final rematch against the Phoenix Mercury on May the 8th before embarking on a 4-game road trip. So now I know we made a video yesterday about the Fever and stuff like that being targeted, but to me, it looked like a lot of these teams. Now no one's playing more back-to-backs. Caitlin Clark and the Fever. I just got to be honest there. But
multiple sources consistently characterize early March as the most realistic launching point for free agency, dependent upon CBA completion by early February. Such an arrangement would allocate the balance of February for organizing and executing an expansion draft process. Under normal circumstances, free agency commences in early January, with significant signings typically concluded by early February. Transporting that conventional framework into present conditions suggests an early March beginning would furnish teams adequate opportunity to assemble rosters before training facilities open on April 19th. Whether that window provides sufficient time remains debatable. Effectively, the outlined strategy condenses free agency operations into March's 31 days while simultaneously managing the expansion draft and lottery processes, expecting all squads to arrive for conditioning programs by April 19th.
Fever, I just got to be honest there. But the Aces, the Fever, and the Liberty will have road trips. I think they will have road trips just on the strength of them being the most popular teams. Now, the first back-to-back of the season is opening weekend when the Los Angeles Sparks play on May 10th, and they left the series.
This blueprint represents the working framework assuming February finalization of labor negotiations. Additional complications emerge from the 2026 WNBA draft's current placement on April 13th, positioning it directly within free agency's anticipated window. Team executives would simultaneously balance roster assembly through veteran signings while preparing evaluations of collegiate prospects entering the professional ranks. The scheduling appears extraordinarily compact. Whether franchises can successfully coordinate training preparations, free agency negotiations, and draft logistics concurrently generates reasonable doubts. While a work stoppage seems improbable, achieving the May 8th launch under these parameters appears progressively more difficult.
And they left the series. I don't know what that is. Let's read the second paragraph. It says the second extension of the original 31 CBA deadline on January 9th, with no deal reached to no agreement to a third negotiation or third extension. Man, where the part at about free agency, bro? Because I'm tired of reading all the same stuff. All these articles be all the same stuff. Now, what's that? The union is proposing eliminating the destination, although
A delay spanning 2 to 3 weeks seems more plausible, assuming CBA completion by February's opening. Accelerating through these essential processes seldom yields positive outcomes. Hurried preparations frequently produce complications, potentially manufacturing a turbulent season beginning characterized by players uncertain of their assignments, teams missing cohesion, and rosters still evolving. Contemplate the logistical challenges. Newly acquired players joining organizations would possess approximately 3 weeks for integration with established teammates. Conditioning programs would overlap with draft evaluations. Subsequently, additional rookies join immediately following the draft.
It's like a minor league system of another professional league like AA baseball. This kind of thing, in my opinion, makes the players look desperate. It looks like they're really trying to get something that has nothing to do with money. They're trying to make some kind of a power play statement. But the WNBA put this out. I know a lot of people's already covered this, but I at least wanted to have this up here going into the two other things I've got.
This abbreviated timeline threatens significant dysfunction. Constable's article stresses that both negotiating entities have pledged commitment toward ensuring the league's 30th anniversary season proceeds as envisioned. Sources acquainted with ownership perspectives consistently report zero appetite for initiating a lockout. The Players Association authorized strike measures in December, though framed that authorization as preventative rather than representative of genuine intentions. The entire landscape surrounding potential postponements and collective bargaining continues generating substantial discussion. The foremost anxiety revolves around how free agency mechanics will operate and whether the league can realistically preserve its desired schedule given remaining hurdles.
Going into the two other things I've got, for those, if you are asking, here's a petition. Please go sign our petition. As if Adam Silver in the NBA and the WNBA and Kathy Engelberg is going to listen to a very small minority of fans. And that's what it is. They're asking the old WNBA fandom to step up here. After months of stalling in negotiations, the WNBA team owners continue to ignore player demands and jeopardize the future of women's professional.
Upcoming weeks should illuminate whether these ambitious projections prove attainable or if modifications become essential to guarantee.
Negotiations, the WNBA team owners continue to ignore player demands and jeopardize the future of women's professional basketball. Here's the problem. Smart fans that have been paying attention know that's a lie. I mean, that's a lie. We've seen the money on the table from the owners. Now they put their money where their mouth is, and we don't want to hear it. But yet you put out ridiculous shit like this. Mick Talks Hoops shared this on his Twitter. This is nuts. This statement is insane from the WNBA PA, claiming that people are tuning in.
Contrary to this assumption, swapping Hull with Kalia Copper, a player various media members suggest the Fever should acquire to replace Kelsey Mitchell, has transformed Rose from unbeaten to struggling dramatically. Since removing Hull from the starting rotation, Rose appears destined for a 3-game losing streak. Beyond this concerning trend, their previous contest demonstrated Hull serving as overwhelmingly their most valuable contributor. With her sidelined currently, the squad trails by 20 points at intermission. Such a deficit appears truly catastrophic. While acknowledging Brianna Stewart's excellent unrivaled campaign and the Mist's enhanced performance, alongside Courtney Williams and Brianna Jones producing solid results, examining Rose reveals troubling developments.
People are tuning into this league for Alyssa Thomas, one of the most unlikable athletes I've ever covered, talked about, mused on, anything. There's nobody tuning in for Alyssa Thomas. Yeah, if 2 million fans were going to watch, 150,000 might tune in for Alyssa Thomas. She's no bargaining chip. In fact, she's one.
Though Copper has accumulated 16 points, Chelsea Gray's scoring output has correspondingly decreased. Gray and Copper essentially compete for the same offensive possessions. Hull's point production held minimal significance previously. Arike Ogunbowale registered 0 points today while Shu continues struggling, yet throughout the season, Hull has genuinely ranked among the competition's most impactful contributors. Her plus-minus statistics, though not visible here, tell a compelling story.
Bargaining chip. In fact, she's one of the league wreckers out there, and I'm talking about wreck the league. We saw how Alyssa Thomas has treated Indiana Fever fans, Caitlin Clark fans, and Caitlin Clark. None of this is happening without Caitlin Clark. None of it. You're not getting offered 9 times the amount of money by the end of a new CBA proposal if it wasn't for Caitlin Clark in that media rights deal. That's not happening.
They suffered defeat to Laces recently. Hull emerged as the outstanding performer in that contest. Recording a +8 rating, she generated disruption constantly through defensive activity. She accumulated steals and rebounds despite struggling with shot accuracy. Ideally, shooting efficiency would accompany her other contributions, though that element was absent.
Happening. So, once again, what did I just say about this? Well, that's a lie. Well, that's a lie. You put out these ridiculous things, and by the way, it just shows that the league still can't get past hating Caitlin Clark. It's crazy. This league is officially hemorrhaging support. Fans are like, no.
Nevertheless, she created chaos across all other performance aspects. Her display appeared genuinely remarkable in that previous matchup. The contest before represented their initial defeat, following a 3-0 start featuring Hull playing 16.3, 18, 11.8, and 12.6 minutes respectively. Suddenly limited to 8-minute rotations, they faced consecutive demolitions. These losses were absolute blowouts.
Hemorrhaging support. Fans are like, no, we're getting the full scoop from people that are actually, and they're not sugarcoating it. They're not giving us the sports media version. They're not giving us the protect women's sports version. We're not giving you none of that. Because it's just athletes and numbers, as far as I'm concerned. If the numbers don't match, if the numbers don't add up, I'm going to call BS. And that's all there is to it. Sophie Cunningham.
The second half outcome remains uncertain, though viewing enthusiasm has diminished. Acknowledging fairness, Ogunbowale did achieve exceptional shooting percentages. The 3-on-3 format presents a unique dynamic where any opponent shooting 60% from the field and beyond the arc can secure victory. Against such efficiency levels, defeating literally any league opponent becomes possible. The improbability of losing to various teams disappears under these circumstances.
Sophie Cunningham. Stance on the CBA negotiations signal a red flag. Her comments sure as hell do. There's a chance that a potential lockout will become an option if spring arrives with no CBA in place. Sophie Cunningham seems to believe this is a likely outcome, which is conveyed during the January 15 episode of the Show Me Something podcast. Quote, our CBA is so dumb right now.
Particularly when Ogunbowale experiences, for lack of better description, magnetized ball conditions similar to all-star break performances. The expression describing Ogunbowale's activities carries different connotations depending on contest circumstances. She either dominates as the floor's premier performer or struggles as the weakest contributor. Middle ground performances rarely occur. That acknowledged, replacing Hull, a supporting contributor, with star-level copper has objectively diminished team quality.